More about finding your passion and how, as a leader, it's good to be passionate.
It's another good question. So I think kids today worry too much about, they see Tiger Mom or whatever they call it, and they were inspired by a Tiger Woods or a snowboarder or a great athlete in basketball. And it's so, or Mark Zuckerberg, or Bill Gates, or a great inventor, I think it's much more important to kind of think of things, especially when you're under 20 or even under 30, that the average life expectancy now is so much longer. When I was in my 30s, I thought, oh my God, by the time I'm 40, I need to retire. Now that I'm 48, I would say, oh, I got 7 more good years ahead of me. And probably when I'm 55, if I make it that long, I'll say, oh, I still got another 8 years before I can't do anything. So the good news is you can use your 20s and even your 30s to set your stage for your 40s. I mean, that's assuming your health stays good and you take care of yourself. But really, I don't think, I think everything's kind of pushed back a little bit. And so I think it's very important at an early age to really try and find your passion. And there's so many tools today that allow you to do that, whether it's YouTube for learning how to do something, or Twitter for learning, for following smart people, or Facebook for building your social graph and your network so that when you're traveling, magical things can happen. So there's all these tools. So the advice I have is around finding your passion is I wouldn't put your pressure on yourself of finding it. I think deep down you will know it. And if you do know it, use the tools around you to hone it. And really try and think through a 20-year, 30-year plan, because if you can, any passion, whether it's golf or software or cars or manufacturing, can be a lifetime joy if you understand the landscape and part of that comes from living in the future. And by that I mean reading a lot of the experts that came before you. By just doing that, you're what I call living in the future, which gives you an edge over everybody else. But understand it's going to be a 10 or 20 year process before you become even good at something, unless you're one of those gifted people that becomes. Those are very outlierish events that I can't plan on that.
So what inspires you when things are starting to get a little tough? You've got a company that's it's not doing as well as you'd expect, or even in day-to-day life, you've seen have one of those weeks where everything's going wrong. What do you use as inspiration to keep you going?
Well, I think the inspiration obviously is that I like my job. So bad day or not, I know what I'm going to be doing, what my core responsibilities are the next day, and I don't dread them. And so I think that's the key. I think the key is there's going to be bad days. I would say 8 of the 10 days that I'm dealing with are problems. And so life becomes about managing those problems and not letting the problems consume the good stuff. That's the trick. So in investing, since 8 out of 9 businesses fail, 8 or 9 of the companies that I back are going to encounter serious problems, sometimes day 1 and sometimes day 100, sometimes even on the path to greatness, or not sometimes, always on the path to greatness. So for me, it's about understanding the parameters of that, and that if 8 or 9 of the businesses that I'm going to invest in are going to struggle, that my life is going to be a struggle. So it's about communicating that to the people that I invest in, clear expectation, which is nobody's great at that because nobody likes to lose money. But I mean, you have to love what you're doing because most of this stuff does not work out. And so you have to be committed to waking up every day and having a schedule around, oh my God, I'm going to wake up and there's going to be problems today. So that's the honest answer of it.
How would you define your leadership style? Is it people-oriented, type A, hands-on, self-mentoring?
My leadership style, well, you would want to ask some employees of mine and they would say he's a terrible leader. That's true. And so my leadership style is more idea driven and motivation driven by work, lead by example. Meaning I'm just going to be the first guy with the lights on, last guy with the lights out. Some people can keep up with me and some people can't. Can't put up with, at 48 I've learned that I can't put up with people not willing to do that, which is almost everybody. So my leadership style is very closet driven, meaning I choose to run in a small group. And for that, I will never have a company of 1,000 employees. So my leadership style is more, here's the idea, here's my vision, please ask questions if you're not clear, but if you're with me, we have a lot of work to do, type thing. And it's probably the toughest one to scale, because people are confused, people need direction, and so you've got to live within that parameter. I'm not a people leader.
You said investment-wise, it's easy when you're doing monetarily, what you put in, what you get out, opposed to that. And you talked about your son with golf and everything. When you look for an investment, what's your basically red flag and what you're not going to invest in? What's your number one thing you're looking for when you're actually coming into any investment, whether it's money?
Yeah, I think the number one thing is expertise. You know, if you want to get better at something, invest around the area where you feel that you have an edge. So for me, it's financial. Every time it's easy for me to fall for a great entrepreneur or a great idea because I'm a salesman myself. But I think the older I get, and the wiser I supposedly get, you have to find businesses where you have an edge and people that help you have that edge. So me just investing in a food company or in a hobby business that's outside my realm is I like to tell the investors that ask me that is why do you need me other than money? So if I'm just bringing money to the table, that's a red flag. If the entrepreneur thinks of me more than, so a lot of my questions now are, why do you think I can help you? Okay, which puts it back on the entrepreneur, because everybody thinks that I can help them because I've had a little bit of success, and that's a dangerous way to be. That's how real problems are created, when the investor thinks that they're a celebrity and the investor thinks they have the secret sauce. The markets are kind of don't work that way. They have a tendency to, for those with false egos or false bravados, build them up and then tear them right down. So the key is to talk to the entrepreneurs honestly about if something goes wrong and I don't have an expertise in this, how am I going to help you? It's just two guys drowning together. So I think you have to really think through, because the entrepreneurs are generally going to be younger in this day and age, or at least the ones that I deal with, so I have to talk them out of why they want to invest with me. And a lot of times that just helps them understand it's not just them or the idea, it's just I want to put money where I'm the dumbest guy in the room. I want to be the dumbest guy in the room. If I'm the smartest guy in an investment, we're screwed. over the course of time. If I can surround myself with people smarter than me, then they'll only call me if they absolutely need me, and then I will have known that when I invested. If I'm getting the call, it's likely that we should walk away from this because they've gone down the line. But I'm happy to help, and if I do invest, it's because when I call the entrepreneur, it's with an idea, hey, take this advice or not, I think I see this. And that's when the investments tend to work better, when I'm not needed, but yet I have knowledge and something that helps accelerate that company to their end goal. And that's what you should always be thinking about when you invest. How can I help this company accelerate? They're going to have their problems. And there's lots of smarter people helping people through problems. But when things are going well, how do I get them to the end zone quicker? So that's the key.